Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden. And today we're gonna do a little putting around in the shade garden. It's been a while since I spent much of any time in there. So I wanted to walk in, kind of show you all a little bit about what's going on, doing some pruning and doing some cleanup. And then also I'm gonna show you a new tool that I got to help sharpen my pruning shears. Okay, so it is brutally hot. It's the worst time of the year here in North Texas. August is the worst. It's when we see the most, the hottest temps. Just absolutely brutal. And I'm out here and it's about 7 o'clock at night. And actually here comes Jeff. He's bringing me a fan to have out in the shade garden. Thank you. Thank you, love you. So I'm actually gonna have a fan in here with me. It's just really hard to get outside because it's so brutal. So what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna go ahead and harvest a bunch of these eggplant, and I have some bell peppers I need to harvest, and then we'll head into the shade garden and do a little bit of work. Okay, I have a bunch of eggplant coming to fruition, and I'll tell y'all, this is my first time growing eggplant. And it has been gloriously fun. I really, really enjoyed it. It has grown like crazy with minimal effort. And I've got probably 8 or 9 on this particular plant. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest it because it is pulling down a lot of the branches. And probably what I'm going to do with these eggplants is I've been thinking about, I do a lot of soups just because it's easy and I can make one giant pot. So I'm probably going to make a roasted vegetable soup. So I'll probably combine this with tomatoes, bell peppers, maybe some carrots and onions, roast them all in the oven and then puree them into a soup. And I think that that would be really, really good. But it looks like I got them all off. I'm just doing a little peek. There's another one down here, but he's still really little, so we'll let him grow a little longer. Okay. Aren't those glorious? Lasada de Gandia. I'm going to be doing these again. I've just really, really enjoyed the process with them. Let's go harvest a few bell peppers as well. Okay, I've got some lilac bell peppers here. I found that this variety is pretty small. But once they're watered regularly, they grow really, really well. I think they're really sweet. I don't necessarily, ooh, that was a big old spider. Go away, spider. I don't think that I'm going to necessarily grow these again, just because I think the fruit is just too small in general to do a lot with it. But they were fun to grow this year. I grew them from seed. I think I got the seeds from maybe M.I. Gardener. I don't recall exactly where I got them. But a lot of beautiful fruit. And I love, purple is my favorite color. So growing these and the eggplant has been super fun. And I fully expect for these to continue producing. And I can use these bell peppers in my, what do you call it? In my roasted vegetable soup as well. Okay, hopefully we'll get another round of fruit. And I see several growing and lots of flowers still growing, so hopefully we'll get some more. Check that out. Lots of purple. I love purple. Beautiful harvest. These peppers, they're just, they're just tiny. They're fine. Is what it is. They'll be fun to roast. They're easy to roast. But looking really good. All right, let me take these in and then let's get going in the shade garden. Okay, so I've got this 3-tiered planter that I planted up in the spring. And you can see the Peria, that's this plant, has gotten a little intense. I'm going to be cutting them back pretty far on here, and I'm cutting all the way back to new sets of leaves because obviously this has gotten really, really leggy, which is a problem. So I'm basically cutting it back to this area like that. Now this Peria can be used for cut flower arrangements. I'm not doing that right now because it's just not something I'm interested in at this point, right at this moment. But I'm just going to give it a dramatic cut back and hoping that this will rebound and give me some blooms this fall, which would be absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this massive plant. That's ridiculous. And this planter did really well for a while, but I mean, it's the brutal summer. Things just don't do as well at this time of the year. And obviously it's very happy with its growth, but it's just out of control and isn't going to work for my vision over here. Now I am going to do a little work in here, just kind of looking around. I've got just a lot of dead stuff. Pull out, clean up a little bit. Do have an oxalis over here. This right here is a Swedish ivy. This up here that I'm cutting out is a fuchsia that is very dead. I think in the future when I do this planter, I can put something that's a little bit more sun loving because it gets a little bit more sun right here in this top portion. All right, and hopefully by doing that, that's also just going to open up some space to allow a little bit more sun into some places and hopefully get some stuff going a little more. Just like that. All right, kind of a mess. Now, Peria is also considered, I believe it's edible. Obviously, research everything before you put anything in your body. I believe it's edible. It does put off a little bit of a purple stain for its sap, so that's something to consider as well. I'm just tossing it back there and going to let it dry out before I actually put it in my trash can. This Swedish ivy is looking really pretty though. I like it. I wouldn't mind just all Swedish ivy. This would actually be beautiful. Now, right in here, we've got some hellebore that needs to be cut back. Stems of hellebore that need to be cut back. And that'll just be anything that doesn't look good. I'm just kind of trimming out of the hellebore here. Cleaning that out. This Listomachia, I'm going to get rid of all this old growth right here because it's got a bunch of new growth coming down at the base right here. So we'll just cut off all this old stuff. Clean that up a little bit like that. Also got some clematis right here that needs to be trained up because it's going back towards some other areas. So push that a little bit that way. I'm going to clean up a little the heuchera. Get rid of some of these older leaves that are a little burned. Now I do have some dicentra that's gone dormant back here. I'm going to take off some of these bloom stalks on the heuchera. Let's get that cleaned up a little bit. Same thing on this one. Okay, so I've got a leopard plant right here, and I definitely have some leaves that don't look as good as others, like that. So I am going to pull some of those off, cut those back, just to open up a little space and give the plant a little bit of reprieve at this time of year. All right, just got that cleaned up a little bit. Now we have a lot going on with the Swedish ivy over here. So I do need to do a little bit of a trim back in some places. So I'm going to come in, it's going to look pretty harsh to start off with. Just going to come in here and take some off in some places, just so I can see a little bit more of what's going on with this container. And this Swedish ivy will bounce back nicely. Oh yeah, that allows me to kind of see what's going on in here a little bit more. And I got a lot of it that's spilling over onto this container over here. Wow, this Swedish ivy has been happy. Now, Swedish ivy can also be propagated. So I could take all this and propagate it. I'm not going to do that. Just like that. And that allows me to see a little bit more about what's going on in here. I do have some stuff that looks like it's gone a little dormant in here. It's like a bouquet of leaves. Okay, so I had a whole bunch of begonias in here, and a lot of them have basically either died or gone dormant. But I want to come in here because the original plan was to save some of these. So I want to kind of come in, see if I can't pull some of them up and see how the tubers are doing. I don't know, I don't know if that's how it works, because a lot of these are tuberous begonias. Let me see if I should have done that in a different way, but I'm just going to kind of come pull in here and see if I feel any tubers, which I don't really. So maybe there aren't any tubers left. I don't know. I don't really feel anything here. This is another one right here. I'm going to try to just lift it out. Oh, and the begonia fell off. But let's see. Now this one seems to have something here. Yeah, this one seems to have a tuber left. So we'll hold on to that and we'll bring that inside and let it dry out. I don't really feel a tuber for this other one. Now, there was some up here as well, and they've all just really just dried out. So I don't even know if there's anything left here. Maybe when it cools down, some of them will start sprouting again. Here's one back here. I don't feel anything. Be interesting. Let's see what happens. I don't see any additional ones coming up over here, and I can't really recall where they all were. And maybe I've just waited too long. Maybe I should have gotten to them earlier when they first started dying back. Well, we've got a couple, so we'll try those out and see if it ends up working out. And then I can always check again in some areas to see if I feel anything, especially at the end of the season. I have I don't know if I'm going to plant anything else here. I do have some additional tuberous begonias that I did start growing. But anyway, we'll just see how this goes, and we'll see if I can save those couple of tubers. And then I have a whole bunch of more tubers that I am going to be saving, and I'll be showing you all that process as well. Now, this right here is a acanthus. I think it's a flame acanthus, bare britches, and it got eaten real bad by grasshoppers. So I'm just going to cut back stuff that doesn't look good, and then we've got the fresh new growth. Hopefully that'll fill back in real nicely. Now over here I have a little bit of a dilemma. I've got some celosia coming up that I'll just leave right there. I've got all these beautiful blooms, which I still really love them and they still look really nice. The problem is it needs to grow to create new wood this year. That'll be old wood for next year. But I'm tempted just to not do anything with it. Just let it be like this, and then it'll get even bigger next year, would be the goal on it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm in here trimming a really short one. If I still wanted to trim these at the end of the season, I could trim just the top portion, like just take off just the top part of the bloom and leave all the rest of the stem, and then we would still be good to go. But gosh, they just look so pretty. I just hate to cut them, y'all. I love them. Now over here we have some Japanese anemone, which is blooming, and I had transplanted it this last year. I have a Virginia, which I accidentally cut down really harshly, and it looks like somebody's been munching on it as well. But it does look, you see some little seedlings right here. The Japanese anemone is spreading around in this pot. There's some more over there, which is great. I would love for this whole pot to fill in. Looks like my trade scantia over here is dead as a doornail. This one seems okay up here. Got some heucheras in here. They're all looking all right. All right. Okay, so that felt really good to just do a little cleanup in the shade garden. I haven't been in here much. It's just been so brutally hot that I haven't really been in the garden all that much anyway. I think I've worked out a system for my tarp up here, and I'll be dealing with that in the fall. It's just too hot to deal with it right now, but to cast a little bit more shade in this space. But yeah, it actually has done pretty well on its own, which that's always a great thing. I do have some new plants that will be added into this space in the fall, which will be wonderful. But let's go in and I want to show you all how this new tool that I got for sharpening my pruners. Okay, so I got this tool and it's called a multi-sharpener tool. All right, multi-sharpener tool, and I got it off of Amazon. So I'll put a link to it below in my Amazon storefront. So it's a protective arch in the lower handle, safeguards fingers from harm when sharpening. And it has oil-soaked sponge, wipe the anti-rust oil to prevent the blade from rusting. And that is stored like in this portion in here. And it looks pretty easy to use. Looks like I take my sharpener and I literally just come like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It says usually about 3 to 4 strokes is sufficient. It also says that you should like secure this to the table and then go across, but I mean, I'm not going to do that. And the idea is that you're holding it back here so that it prevents you slicing your hand across the pruners. So that was pretty simple. I don't know if I can do this middle portion or not. And then it also has one on the very side. So you can come across with that too. Let me go get my other set of pruners. Well, also, so like my hoary horn knife, I can't do it for the serrated, but I do have another sharp edge here, and it basically, you can run on here as well. Just like that. Super simple. Let me go grab my other pruners. Okay, let's test. Let's see. So I've got a branch in here, and these are kind of dull. All right, so we got that cut. That's before I did anything with it. So let's go in here, use this tool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do one other from good measure. 5. All right, so 5. Let's see if it cuts any better. Definitely cuts better. Let's do a few more. Cool. Okay, so that's 10. Yeah. Okay, I definitely think that works, which is very exciting because a lot of times I just kind of fall into the trap of just ordering new pruners, which is ridiculous and wasteful. So what this is going to allow me to do is make my pruners last for longer. Now, it'd be really good if I had some oil and I was oiling these up and all that kind of stuff. We're not doing that, right? Let's see if this sharpener works. Sweet. Awesome. All right, you all. Okay, kind of a random video today, watching me harvest some eggplant and those beautiful lilac bell peppers, and then seeing me kind of just mess around a little bit in the shade garden, do a little bit of cleanup on that out of control Peria, cleaning up a few more plants, doing a little investigation regarding those tubers. And so I'll keep you updated on these tubers. I'm going to let this one just kind of dry out at this point in time. And I've got some other tubers that I had started. I got them all from Bluestone Perennials, and they're down here and they're doing beautifully. So I've got some more begonia tubers. So we'll let these grow on, and then we're going to take these tubers and we're going to store them and overwinter them. And then you also got to see me just do a little bit more cleanup along that area. And then of course coming inside and trying out this new handy tool for sharpening my pruners. All right, you all, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow my channel so much. Be sure to drop me a comment, and if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, drop me an emoji just to let me know you made it to the end and that you say hi. And be sure to check me out on my social media outlets, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.